Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today is the auspicious day of the appearance of one of our greatest acharyas, Srila Narottam Das Thakur. So our class will be on, the entire class will be on glories of Narottam Das Thakur. Jai. So I was thinking, Rishabh, instead of Jai Radha, should I sing Ohe Vaishnav Thakur or? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to sing Ohe Vaishnav Thakur and then we'll get into the class. Ohe Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edase Karuna Kori. Dayara Sagara Edase Karuna Kori. Diya Pada Chaya Shodo Hai Amaya Tumhara Charana Dhori. Charana Dhori. Should we get the songbooks? Or, Chaya Begadomi, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Guna Deho Dase. Gadomi, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Guna Deho Dase. Chaya Satsanga Deho He Amare, Boshishe Sangera Ashe. Deho He Amare, Boshishe Sangera Ashe. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala harinama sankirtane. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala harinama sankirtane. Tumhi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna nama dhane. कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्ण दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे आमी तू कंगाला कृष्णा कृष्णा बोली धैता वा पाछे पाछे ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयर सागर एदासे करुणा कोरी जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद Translation. O Venerable Vaishnava, devotee of Krishna, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply your servant running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna, Hari Bol. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So I request the blessings of all you wonderful elevated Vaishnavas. Everyone here is so senior to me. Request all of you to kindly bless me so that we can speak a few words on Narottam Das Thakur. Hare Krishna. Okay, so Narottam Das Thakur, there's so much to speak about the life of Narottam Das Thakur. Every aspect of his life is so inspiring and setting such a wonderful example for us in our spiritual journeys. So, since today is the appearance, I will start off with the appearance of Narottam Das Thakur, and then I was thinking maybe we'll cover up to the, let's see how the time allows us, but maybe cover up to the time when he starts his preaching. So the preaching and the rest of his life would be another class. But let's start off with his appearance. So it's described that how once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his associates, they were actually performing kirtan. And while they were doing kirtan, all of a sudden, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started shouting, Narottam, Narottam, right? And he was just by shouting Narottam, Narottam, he was experiencing so much ecstasy that he had to actually hold Nityananda Prabhu just to actually, control that ecstasy. So he held on to Nityananda Prabhu and he was just shouting, Narottam, Narottam, and then he actually, fell to the ground. And Nityananda Prabhu was holding him, and he actually asked, he said, Oh Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh Gaura Hari, I have never seen such kind of emotions in you. Who is this personality Narottam? And this was like much before Narottam even appeared. And none of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate's name was Narottam. So Nityananda Prabhu was wondering, who is this Narottam? Right? And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started saying, I came to this world to give the highest treasure of love of God. And so much love of God is there. And then we are soon going to leave. But who will be that one person who can actually take that love of God and distribute to the rest of the world? Who is qualified to receive that love of God, that precious gift that I have bought, and can actually distribute to the rest of the world? We will be gone soon. But we need one person who can actually do this. Oh Nityananda Prabhu, who will be that person? Right? And then Nityananda Prabhu said, oh my Lord, you know everything. So you please reveal to us who is that person going to be. Right? And who is this Narottam? Just by chanting his name, you are going into such states of ecstasy. Right? And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that soon there will be this person who will be born on the other side of this Padmavati river. So they were on this side. They said in Keturi there will be a person born. His name will be Narottam. And he will be the person who will receive this precious gift and distribute to the everyone. Right? And I am going to deposit this precious gift of love of God into the river Padmavati. And next day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when the kirtan was going on, he actually entered into the river of Padmavati. And as soon as he entered the river actually swelled in ecstasy, and there were like waves, and it was as if the whole river was actually, dancing just by the entrance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the river was swelling with so much joy and bliss just by the entrance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the personality, Padmavati, she came in front of Gaura Hari and she said, oh my Lord, what can I do for you? And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am giving you this, my love, my prema, my love of Godhead, the gift that I actually came to give to the rest of the world. I am giving it to you. And you actually hold it with yourself and give it to one personality who is going to come later. His name is Narottam. And Padmavati asked, how will I recognize this person? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, as soon as he enters your river, you will feel the same mood of ecstasy you are feeling when I have entered. Your waters will swell and will actually overflow onto the banks, and then you will know that this is the personality to give. And Padmavati asked a very important, a very pertinent question. She says, if he's already so much in ecstasy, right, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that as soon as he enters, the water will already swell in ecstasy. If he's already so much in love of Godhead, and if he receives this gift, will he be able to even, hold on to the gift? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, it will be fine. Just give this gift to Narottam. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has deposited that most precious gift. When we say Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Nama. The most merciful, Namo Mahavadanyaya, has brought the highest gift of Goloka Vrindavan, of love, of prema, of Goloka Vrindavan. And that prema, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has deposited in Padmavati to actually give it to Srila Narottam Das Thakur. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, he actually makes a point to Nityananda Prabhu. He says every word that Narottam Das Thakur is going to speak will be filled with love of Godhead. And then he makes the point, and anyone who just praises Narottam Das Thakur will get love of Godhead. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already glorified Narottam Das Thakur, that even if we just glorify him, we'll get that gift of love of Godhead. So it's nice we have this opportunity to discuss the pastime, the glories of Narottam Das Thakur, and by this we can make the prayer that as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that anyone who glorifies Narottam Das Thakur can get love of Godhead, that we also become kind recipients of love of Godhead. Haribo! Okay. So this was before Narottam Das Thakur appeared. And then, and then we read about how this place known as Keturi, there was a king known as Krishna Nanda Dutt, and his wife known as Narayani. So very pious family, very religious family, and very nice king, the king and the queen of that area. Very nice king, but they had everything, the property, the land, everything was very fertile, and everything was perfect in their kingdom. Except they did not have a son. They did not have a son. So they were actually thinking, Krishnananda Datta was thinking that yes, I have this wonderful kingdom. Everything is so perfect in this kingdom, but who will continue after I leave? Someone has to take over the kingdom. And he was thinking we don't have a son. So that was his constant mood of lamentation. But once he was actually sitting in the palace, in his inner chamber, and he heard a voice. And the voice said, O Krishnananda Datta, soon you will be blessed with a son by name Narottam. And he will actually destroy the miseries of the whole world. And that was a prediction. And he just heard the voice. And Krishna Datta was actually thinking that, am I dreaming? Is that really the voice I heard? But I am fully conscious. Like, I just heard that voice and I cannot find, like there wasn't anything to follow up or just that statement. And he told his wife that, I heard this. And then just a few days later, his wife actually had a dream, Narayani. And she had a dream that she actually saw. That in her dream that she said, she's telling Krishna Datta, that actually I saw in my dream that you actually entered into my body. And from us, this personality actually appeared, was actually the most extraordinary of all personalities. So she already had a dream that, and they were thinking that maybe, we'll soon have a son. And then it was it's described that how there was an astrologer who was just coming through the kingdom, and the king actually asked the astrologer that, you can see our charts, tell what is there. And even the astrologer, he did all the calculations, and he actually made the point that there's going to be a remarkable devotee who's going to take birth very soon to you. So there are all the signs, all the predictions that Narottam is going to be born. Right? And then, and then soon the Narottam Das Thakur actually took birth as the son of Krishna Datta and Padmavati. And Narayani, he actually appeared. And then just the son, Narottam Das Thakur, was so beautiful. It's described that he had like lotus-like eyes, a darkish complexion, and such a beautiful child, And in Vedic tradition, the system is that when the child is born, then they actually call the astrologer to see the charts of the child. So they call astrologers to see, they call astrologers to see the chart of Narottam Das Thakur, and they asked the astrologer, because in Vedic tradition, the astrologer, depending on the time of birth, they actually say that, okay, what should be the syllables in the name of that person? So it said that Narottam Das Thakur appeared at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. on this tithi. So he appeared in the morning, and the astrologer was called, and they actually said, everyone predicted that this person is going to be the greatest of all men. And when Krishna that asked the astrologer, what would be the name? And he said his name should have syllables Na, Ra, and Ta. Right? And then they just looked at the chart, they said these three syllables, his name should be Narottam, the best of all men, the greatest of all men. And it was interesting that Krishna Datta was thinking that in my dream, in the voice he had heard, it was already predicted that my son's name would be Narottam. And the astrologers have just confirmed that his name should be Narottam Das Thakur. But one of the astrologers actually, and it described that when Narottam Das Thakur was born, Narayani had this vision that after the birth, she saw two personalities appear in her room. And she saw those beautiful personalities. And no one else could see, but she just saw. And one was Gauranga Mahaprabhu and one was Nityananda Prabhu. So when Narottam Das Thakur was born, Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu actually appeared in that place. And only Narayani could actually have darshan of Gaur Nitai. So the astrologers, different astrologers came. One of the astrologers, he said, everything is wonderful in this boy's chart, except there is one thing. Except there is one thing. Do not send him to a river. If you send him to a river, he will go mad. It's going to be very dangerous for him. So that was, be careful. Do not send him to any water body, any river. He's going to go mad if he actually gets it. So that was, the astrologer made that prediction. And then soon after a few months, there was a time for Annaprasan, the first grain ceremony. And then it's described that big ceremony was held, and then they actually got sweet rice, and they actually tried to give it to Narottam. And Narottam just turned his mouth. He didn't even accept. He wouldn't even open his mouth. And they're thinking like, what's wrong with this child? Annaprasan, he should actually take one grain. That's how it starts. But Narottam wouldn't even open his mouth. And then one of the elderly Brahmanas actually came and he said, is this offered to Krishna? And then they said, oh, in all our ceremonies we forgot to offer the grains. And Narottam did not accept it. And then as soon as they offered the grains, then he actually accepted his prasadam. So even at that, Annaprasan, when he was just few months, he actually showed that he would accept only Krishna prasadam. Only Krishna prasadam. And then it's described that how so many wonderful. This is all actually from this book, Glorious Life of Narottam Das Thakur by Mother Sitala. Such a beautiful book. Like you'll cry just reading this book. It's so touching. So it's described that once, because Keturi is located in such a place that people when travel to Jagannath Puri, they pass through Keturi. Either going for the Rath Yatra or coming from Puri. They cross this place. Right? So once it was getting close to the Rath Yatra season and there were all these personalities coming. And Krishnananda, that being such a religious, pious person, he actually said, let's go and hear so-and-so person is doing katha. So he took Narottam Das Thakur with him, like little baby or child Narottam. And he took him with him and they sat right in front of the speaker. He's a king, so he was, and the Narottam was sitting right there. And this person was speaking about the glories of Raghunath Das Goswami. And he actually said, that is this devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami. And this Raghunath Das Goswami was a prince. And when he actually came to know about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually left everything. And he went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and took shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And then in Jagannath Puri, he actually first was just begging from the pilgrims who are coming there. And then later on, he actually just accepted the rejected grains from the Puri temple. Like what was rejected, what was even left off from the cow, he used to just take those, spoiled grains and just wash them and eat it. And he gave up everything. And he was talking about the renunciation of Raghunath Das Goswami. And Narottam, as a small child, when they came back home after this katha, Narottam Das Thakur was offered nice opulent food and like sweet rice and everything. And Narottam's reaction was, why are we having these opulent things? We should have those grains just like Raghunath Das Goswami. And then he said, oh, we should just leave. Why are we here in this kingdom? We should just leave and go to Vrindavan, go to the forest. We should have that mood of renunciation like Raghunath Das Goswami. This is like a small boy. And he just heard the glories of Raghunath Das Goswami and he just wanted to become. And his father started saying, no, they are so exalted personalities. We cannot imitate such personalities. We have our duties, we have our kingdom, we have to take care of our entire kingdom, family, material duties. We have to take care of everything. And then Narottam, he just accepted, but in his mind he was thinking that yes, what my father is saying may be okay, but I will actually become like a renunciate, like Raghunath Das Goswami. Even as a small boy, he had the desire, he'll become like Raghunath Das Goswami. And later on we know how he comes to Vrindavan and he actually meets Raghunath Das Goswami. And later on is described that how his education started, he mastered all Sanskrit, logic, everything. He became very expert, but his mind was not there. And once, when all these pilgrims were traveling, Narottam actually was, he just came across one of these pilgrims, and his name was Krishna Das Babaji, and he was actually an associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he heard the katha that Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami was giving. And he was so impressed by the talk of Krishna's Babaji that he came to Krishna's Babaji Maharaj and asked him, can you tell me about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And then Krishna's Babaji started explaining about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme personality of Godhead. And he's actually descended. He had descended just to give everyone love of Godhead. He's the most merciful incarnation. And then immediately Narottam was like, okay, where is he? Is he in Navdeep? Is he in Puri? Can I go and see him? And Krishna's Babaji said, no, he just departed few years back. He has finished his pastime, he's left few years back. And even Narottam as a small child, when he heard this, immediately he was feeling so much lamentation that I am born just few years late. If I was just born few years earlier, I could have had darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was lamenting so much. He was just lamenting that, oh, I missed seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Krishna's Babaji was saying, no, it's okay. Now also if you hear the glories of the Lord, then you can actually associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Or if you connect with his associates who are still present, Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, if you still associate with them, then that is, you will get the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Raghunath was, Narottam Das Thakur was like, okay, maybe the associates, I should connect with them. He had that desire. And he told Krishna's Babaji that, you please come to the palace every day and speak the glories of Lord Chaitanya and associates to me. So every day Krishna's Babaji used to come to the palace. And Narottam, his entire day, he just wanted to sit and hear from Krishnadas Babaji. And he started telling about all the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then finally he told about Lokanath Goswami, who was going to be later the spiritual master of Narottam Das Thakur. He told of the entire life of Lokanath Goswami. And then when it came to the point that, how we know the story of Lokanath Goswami, how he was sent by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan to actually excavate the lost places in Vrindavan. He was the first Goswami who was actually sent to Vrindavan. And so Narottam was hearing and he said like, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he promised Lokanath Goswami that he would meet him in Vrindavan. So did they ever meet? And Krishna's Babaji started explaining that how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did go to Vrindavan, but Lokanath Goswami had already left Vrindavan. He wanted to come and see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he came to Puri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone for a South India tour. Then he went to South India, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. And then he came back to Vrindavan, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already left to Puri. And he's walking everywhere to see his Lord. And he actually never saw his Lord. When his dream, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and said, you just meditate on my form before I took sannyas. His Navdeep Gaurachandra. So when Narottam was hearing all this, he was like, oh, Lokanath Goswami never got to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was present, but he ordered him to go to Vrindavan. And all these emotions were just like overflowing his heart. All he could think of was meditate on these emotions, this mood of separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna's Babaji used to tell him every day, but his parents, just like in India it is very common. As soon as any youth, they actually start taking Krishna consciousness seriously, then the parents immediately they get into anxiety. And then similarly here, the parents actually, they were like, Narottam, he's spending so much time just hearing Krishna's Babaji. He's not interested in anything. And they say like, okay, little spirituality is good, but not so much. And similarly you hear in, parents make this point that, okay, a little bit is good, but don't go too much. So similarly the same mood was there. And they said like, okay, what should we do? Like he just wants to hear this katha and he's not interested in anything else. But he has duties, he's the prince, he has to rule the kingdom, he has to do so much. So they were thinking in that way. And then the mother actually said, out of the motherly love, that maybe we should actually get him married. Because once he gets married, then he'll get involved with us. Just like parents, normally when their child actually goes, similar thinking. So the parents were thinking, let's get him married. And Narottam Das Thakur, he could not tolerate this materialistic life anymore. Like they used to teach him about how to take care of kingdom and all this material education. He could not tolerate hearing anything of this. All he wanted to do was he just wanted to leave and go and dedicate his life to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu associates. And he was thinking in this, how will I, every day the pain of separation was increasing more and more. And then one night in his dream, Nityananda Prabhu appeared. And Nityananda Prabhu actually told him in his dream that you go to the river Padmavati. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has kept a special gift just for you. And river Padmavati is holding that gift and she's waiting to give it to you. You go to Padmavati. So again we see that how we just, Wednesday we celebrated the appearance of Nityananda Prabhu. That all these devotees, Raghunath Das Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, all of them got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only after receiving the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. First they all got the mercy of Nitai and then they got the mercy of Gauranga. So Nitai actually told him, go to Padmavati. So Narottam Das Thakur had to sneak out because, he was not allowed to go to any river. So he in the morning, like early morning before the sun rose, he actually, escaped from his room, went to Padmavati. And as soon as he entered Padmavati, again the river just swelled in ecstasy. And then Padmavati understood, this is the personality Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted. And then she actually came and gave that love of Godhead to Narottam. And that form of love of Godhead appeared as if the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had entered into the body of Narottam. The form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu entered into the form of Narottam. And after that, Narottam, he wasn't the same. Like initially he had blackish complexion. His entire complexion changed. He became golden complexion, just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His form changed externally. And then the parents were searching and they came like, oh, where is our Narottam? And finally they saw him on the banks of Padmavati. And he was just crying and crying, shouting, Gauranga, 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 in ecstasy. And they were like so worried that what happened? What happened to him? And they couldn't even recognize Narottam because his form had changed so much. He had now become like golden complexion. So his mother was like, he's wearing the same clothes, the same ornaments, but his form is different. What is wrong with him? And the parents were thinking that maybe he is actually haunted by a ghost. Maybe a ghost has entered into him, And Narottam couldn't just stop crying. He was just crying and shouting, Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And his mother was just like, what is wrong with our child? And they took him back to the palace. But even in the palace, day and night, he was just crying and crying and crying. And the parents didn't know what to do. And then they tried to call some tantrics. They said like, oh, maybe there is a ghost. He's haunted by a ghost. They called the tantric. The tantric said, no, there is no ghost. And he gives some like, you should get some jackal oil and rub it on the stomach, like something weird. And then Narottam actually, he says, no, I am not haunted by any ghost. I am actually feeling separation from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of love for God. But the parents said, no, how is it possible? He's just a small boy. And they could not see the situation of Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam, And finally, the mother asked, like, what can we do for you? What can we do? And Narottam said, please let me go to Vrindavan. I just want to dedicate my life to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as soon as the mother heard, she was like, no, we'll die in separation from you. You cannot go. Just stay here. Here you can actually do bhakti, you can do your spiritual life. Just like we hear from parents say, no, you don't have to go to the ashram. Just stay here and you can do bhakti. Right? So similarly, the mother was like, stay here. You can do your religious life. What is that? Well, Narottam was like, unless I take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, my life is useless. I need to dedicate my entire life to these personalities. And the mother could not relate to his emotions. Then he said, like, maybe I'll tell my father. I told his father, the only way I can actually get little relief if I'm allowed to go to Vrindavan. And even the father was like, you're the prince. You have to take care of the entire kingdom. You have all your duties. How can you escape all this? And then Narottam was like, okay, they are not going to understand my emotions. So he actually, one way tried to control his emotions and just to act like an obedient boy. But the parents knew that this person, we cannot, like he may run out to Vrindavan. So his father actually appointed guards to be with Narottam 24 hours a day. You know, and Narottam couldn't. But every day was so difficult. He was just like waiting, when can I run away? When can I meet? When can I go to Vrindavan? And that he was crying. And one night in his dream, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in his dream. Right? And he actually saw the beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know? And he was already so much in ecstasy, so much in mood of separation. And when the form appeared in his dream, and he saw the beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya, it was just like unlimited ecstasy. And he felt like almost, when he saw the glance of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he felt like he would explode with that emotions, with that mood of love of God. And then the dream, like the vision of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went away. But again he got another dream of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that he actually saw the entire Panchatattva. Actually in the first dream, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he placed his feet on Narottam. And he actually said, go to Vrindavan, everything will be fulfilled. And then he had another dream where all the Panchatattva actually came. And the entire Panchatattva told that don't worry, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a whole mission to be fulfilled through you. Just go to Vrindavan. And all the associates of Panchatattva embraced him and said, go to Vrindavan, everything will be perfect. Similarly we read how Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nityananda Prabhu came in his dream and told him what? Are Krishna Das, na kara bhaya. Don't be fearful, just go to Vrindavan, all your wishes will be fulfilled. So here the Panchatattva appeared in a dream of Narottam and said, go to Vrindavan, go to Vrindavan. And then he was like, how can I go? I need to go to Vrindavan. Somehow or other I need to go to Vrindavan. And he was praying to the Lord that somehow show me a way, because all these guards were every time 24 hours around him. How can he leave and go to Vrindavan? And then finally, one day there was a letter from the Nawab, because he was a king, Krishna, but they were under the Nawab's rule. So Nawab heard about Narottam and said, I want to see him. What is wrong with that person? And then Narottam understood, this is my opportunity. So they sent him to the Nawab with all the soldiers. But in the night, when the caravan stopped at one place, then Narottam said, this is my opportunity. And then all the guards were asleep. And then quietly he left. And he started, as soon as he left the camp, started running and running like non-stop, all the way in the direction of Vrindavan. And this is a small boy. And he's running through the forest and, he's a prince, but, just alone running through a forest. His body was getting, cut at so many places. There were like blisters in the feet. But he was just running and running. And he didn't want to stop because he said the guards may come and catch him. And he ran like the entire day, the entire night. And then in the morning, at one place, he just like stopped. He said like to catch his breath. And he was so exhausted, like just running for hours. And he just stopped to catch his breath. And he heard some footprints behind him. Footprints. And like, yeah. And then he said, and as soon as he looked, and he found the guards were right there. And he said like, oh. And then the guard said, what are you doing? Your parents your mother has fainted. They are crying and crying. Come back right now. They are almost going to leave their body because of separation from you. Come back right now. And Narottam Das Thakur, he gives the example that when a wife's husband leaves and the wife wants to voluntarily enter into the fire, and the well-wishers may stop her, but her heart is completely dedicated to the wife. So even if she survives, what is the use? She cannot do anything except want to be with her wife. Similarly, I have no other desire than to be as a servant of Gauranga and Nityananda. I have no other mission in my life. I just want to jump into the fire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And when he was convinced, and the way he actually told all the guards, the guards said, he is someone else. He's not an ordinary boy. He's a great saint, the way he's talking. And then they didn't say anything. And then he just left Narottam. And Narottam continued on his journey. And then he went days and months. He was just traveling towards Vrindavan. And once he was like so exhausted, alone like a small boy traveling to the forest, so exhausted that he just like fainted in that exhaustion. And just in that faint, he just saw someone come. And there was this a golden Brahmana came to him and gave him a pot of milk. But he was so exhausted, he just saw the Brahmana, but still he just couldn't accept that pot of milk. So it was just there. And then Rup and Sanatan Goswami came to his dream. And he said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally come and given milk to you. Just drink that milk and all your wounds, everything will be cured and you will have energy to go to Vrindavan. And he said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given you love of God. He has a whole mission planned for you. Don't worry, everything will be successful. Just drink the milk, go to Vrindavan. So you see how many times the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are coming in the dream of Narottam, giving visions to Narottam Das Thakur. And then Narottam woke up and he said I had the darshan, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they personally came and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give me this pot of milk. So he had that pot of milk and then he had energy. Okay, now I can go to Vrindavan. And then he went and kept his journey. And finally, he reached Mathura. He saw a city and he said ask someone, which is the city? This is Mathura. And he was like, finally, I have come to Vraj Mandal. And then when he came to Mathura, he met one. And then he was seeing all the places and people were saying, this is where Krishna killed Kamsa. This is where he actually killed Kuvalaya Pida. This is where, the body of Kamsa was dragged. All these places, and he was just meditating on Krishna. And while he took bath in the Yamuna, and he was just meditating in Krishna, and one Brahmana saw him. And he's like, this boy, he looks so effulgent, but his clothes are all torn, and he looks, running through a forest for months. But the Brahmana was attracted to him. The Brahmana brought him prasadam, and then they started talking, and then Narottam asked, so are Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami writing books still? Which book are they writing? And immediately the Brahmana looked down, and he was almost crying tears. And Narottam asked, what happened? What happened? And the Brahmana said, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami have departed the world. Imagine Narottam Das Thakur, whole life, he was just waiting. When will I get darshan of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami? And finally he's come to Mathura, all the way to Mathura, and he hears that his greatest aspiration to meet these personalities, they have just departed. And that pain that Narottam Das Thakur was feeling, he felt now everything is over. My whole life I just wanted to come and serve Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, but now they have left. What will I do? What will I do? So anyway, so the Brahmana said, don't worry, Jiva Goswami is still there. Raghunath Das Goswami is still there. These associates are still there. Go right now. Lokanath Goswami is still there. Go right now to Vrindavan. And then he immediately left to Vrindavan. He said, I cannot waste one moment. I don't want to miss any of the other associates who are still here on this planet. And then he goes to Vrindavan. And I'll end with one last point. That he goes to Vrindavan, and then he sees a temple at a distance in Vrindavan. First of all, he offers obeisance to the dust of Vrindavan, and he sees a temple. And then he asks some, Vrajvasis, which is this temple? He said, this is the temple of Govindji. And then he comes to the temple, and just like his mood that finally his dream is fulfilled, he's come to Vrindavan. He comes to the footsteps of Govindji temple and just faints there. And as soon as he wakes up from his faint, he hears everyone, oh, Narottam is here. And he was wondering, how do people know about Narottam, that I am Narottam? And then he is woken up by Jiva Goswami. And he said, welcome to Vrindavan, Narottam, this is Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami personally welcomed him to Vrindavan. Okay, so we'll have to stop, but it's so wonderful. Please read this book, it's so. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayataksam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam
Guru Dev, Kripa Bindu Diya, Oroe Dase, Trina Pekka Atihina. Guru Dev, Kripa Bindu Diya, Oroe Dase, Pekka Atihina. Guru Dev, Kripa Bindu Diya, Koroe Dase, Trina Pekka Atihina. Guru Dev, Bindu Diya, Koroe Dase, Trina Pekka Atihina. Sakala Sahane Balodiya Koro Nijamani Spriyahina. Sakala Sahane Balodiya Koro Nijamani Spriyahina. Sakale Samana Korite Shakate Deho Nata Jata Jata Sakale samane koro te nukate deho nata nata data tabeota tabeto gaibo hare namasuke aparada habe hata Natabeto gaiba harinamasuke hata kabikeno kripa labaya ejana kritarta hoibe nata Kabeheno kripa labaya ejana kritarta hoibenata Shakti buddhina miyatidina koro more adma sata Shakti buddhina Koro more adma sata Yogita vichare Kichu nahi pai Tomara karuna sara Yogita vichare Kichu nahi pai Tomara karuna sara Karuna na hoile kandia kandia prano na raki bawara Karuna na hoile kandia kandia prano na raki bawara Guru Dev Gripa Bindu Dia Koroe Dase Trina Pekka Atihina Guru Dev Gripa Bindu Dia Koroe Dase Trina Pekka Atihina Sakala sahane balodia koro nijamanis priyahina Sakala sahane balodia koro nijamanis Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya 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 Vaishnav Jaya Narottama Das 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 Narottama Das Jaya Narottama Das Jaya Narottama Haribo 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 Nittai Gaur Haribo Nittai Gaur Haribo 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 Nittai Gaur Nittai Gaur Haribo 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 Nittai Gaur Haribo Nittai Gaur Haribo 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 Nittai Gaur Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radha. Jaya Radha, Golokananda Radha, Golokananda Radhe. Jaya Radha, Golokananda Radha, Golokananda Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Giri Govardhan, Jaya 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 Giri. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai.
Sankirtana Jaya ki
Jai. Gurudev, give this servant just one drop of mercy. I am lower than a blade of grass. Give me all help. Give me strength. Let me be as you are, without desires or aspirations. Gurudev, I offer you all respects, for thus I may have the energy to know you correctly. Then, by chanting the holy name in great ecstasy, all my offenses will cease. Gurudev, when will such mercy fall upon this weak and devoid of intelligence? Allow me to be with you. Gurudev, if you examine me, you will find no good qualities. Your mercy is all that I am made of. If you are not merciful unto me, I can only weep, and I will not be able to maintain my life. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Chaito Darpanam Arjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreyam Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vagriba Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Nuraga Trinada Pisunijena Charora Pisuhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmini Janmini Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rohita Kitwai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Mambuda Kribayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadishu Daraya Varanam Gadgadaridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishavabadamritam Manastumam Adarshanam Marma Hato Karotuva Tatatama Datolam Pato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when you chant your holy name? When will the voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, considering a moment to be like 12 years or more, tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Shastaka Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan tomorrow at Bond Park in Cary, 3 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.